Welcome to Edupedia World Grade 10 Computer Science Video Lecture Series. I'm Upeka Vandibona, and from this episode we are going to discuss about the standard variable naming practices focusing on C++. Our variables so that we can remember them and refer to them from other parts of a program. In C++ program, a name starts with a letter and contains only letters, digits and underscores. For example, the letter X, number underscore of underscore elements, all in simple, and Fourier underscore transform, the capital F, simple Z2, and polygon with the capital P. All of these are variable names, but the other set cannot be used as variable names. For 2x, we cannot use the number at the beginning. Time $to market, we cannot use the dollar sign because it's not a letter or a digit or an underscore. Start menu, we cannot use the space in the middle. So for these names, the C++ compiler will not accept them as names. If you read system code or machine-generated code, you might see names starting with underscores. For example, underscore foo. Never write those yourself because such names are reserved for implementation and system entities. By avoiding leading underscores, you will never find your names clashing with some name that the implementation generated. Now in C++, names are case sensitive. That means the uppercase characters and lowercase characters are distinct. For example, if you define a variable with the simple s, then to refer that variable anywhere in the program, you have to use that same simple s. So you cannot do something like here in this program. And the other thing in C++ is this language reserves many names as keywords. You can't use those to name your variables, types, functions, etc. Look at this example. Here it uses the name if. As if is a keyword, we cannot use it as a variable name. In the C++ language, there are actually 85 keywords and we have used some of them up to now. Now this word string, it's not actually a keyword. It is just a facility in the standard library. So you can use it as a variable name, but you should not do that, because reusing of such common names will cause you trouble if you should ever want to use the standard library. So don't try to use string, int or whatever such kind of a thing as variable names. When you choose names for your variables, functions, types, etc., choose meaningful names. That means choose names that will help people to understand your program. Even you will have problems understanding what your program is supposed to do if you have littered it with variables with easy to type names like x1, x2, x3 and p3 kind of. Abbreviations and acronyms can confuse people, so use them very carefully. Take a look at these acronyms in here. These acronyms were obvious to us when we wrote them, but after some time you'll even forget them. Now the short names, such like one character names, X, Y, Z, such kind of. These are meaningful when you used conventionally. For example, if you use a one character for a loop index, then that is okay, because the only purpose of that variable is only to increment. So it's okay to have a one character for loop indexes. But if you use a one character for a variable name which do some purposeful thing, then it's not good. You can actually do that in the program code, but it's not good as a professional programmer. In the previous slide, I said don't use acronyms or abbreviations, and also don't use overly long names because they are hard to type. That's a picky reason, and it makes lines so long that they don't fit on the screen, and also it's hard to read quickly. Here we have shown you some OK variable names and not OK variable names. OK variables are sweet and short, partial sum, element count, stable, partition. But the not OK variables are so long and hard to read. The number of elements. remaining free slots in symbol table. Those are very much long to appear in the screen if you are use that in a statement. Okay, now the next point I want to highlight is ensuring the consistency in the variable naming. For example, if you are using underscores to separate the words in a variable name, then you had to follow that standard in each and every variable name. Don't try to mix the camel case format with the underscore format. If you are using the underscore format, then it should be always the underscore format. If you are using the camel case format, then it should be always the camel case format. Don't try to mix the both of them in your code. And the other thing is, avoid having variable names with all caps because conventionally it is reserved for another thing. We will talk about that in later. So just for now, remember, avoid having all caps variable names. And also don't try to use the capital letter as the first letter of the variable name because we use an initial capital letter for defined types. We will also discuss about what are types in a later episode. The next point is how you name the variable. Obviously, the name should be represent what you are going to do with the variable. What is the purpose of it? The problem is whether you use a singular name or a plural name. Think it like this. If the variable contains a one instance, a one value, then you use a singular name. If the variable contains many instances, many values, then you should use a plural name. The last point is avoid names that are easy to mistype, misread, or confuse. This will be beneficial for a person that reads your code as well as for you. It's a generally known fact the characters 0, the uppercase O and the lowercase o prone to cause you confuse. And the same goes with the characters 1, the uppercase I and the lowercase l. So use them very carefully. And with that, we are going to wind up this episode. In this episode, we basically discussed about the standard practices you have to follow when naming your variables in the code. Actually, these standards are not just for the C++ language, even though we have targeted just on it. You can also use them in any other language. So from the next episode, we are going to talk about the types and objects in C++ language. Thank you for watching and stay tuned on with Edupedia World.